I'm showing up here without much of a direction. Nonetheless, I'm here. I was hesitant to film. I wanted to put a hold on recording myself because the story I was telling myself is I have to feel up here to film, and it's only if I'm up here that's when I can film. And I think our world would be much different if we allowed ourselves to express ourselves authentically in the present. Like, it would look so different if everybody just interacted with each other at the same exact level that they're as if they were reflecting the inner world authentically to the external world. It would just look different. Like, our expression would be right here. Everyone's self-expression would be exactly as it is in this moment, without it being morphed or shifted even slightly, even in a subtle way. It's just, if we were all just expressing ourselves exactly as whatever is going on in our internal world, we were to just express it as just as it is. You know, I think a lot of us have been conditioned that we have to present ourselves to the world in a certain way instead of right here where we are presently, mentally at the moment. I imagine a world where someone was like, how are you doing right now? The person responds, I'm actually feeling very low and pretty crappy. Another person then receives that energy without needing to be anything else. So, okay, feeling crappy today. I had one of those days just last week. Or it's just like, I'm feeling angry, or I'm feeling vengeful, or I'm feeling like jealous right now. I'm feeling like really bad about myself. I'm feeling guilty right now. I'm feeling lots of guilt and shame. But, oh, okay, as if everyone was receiving that with compassion and understanding. I made a new connection recently, several weeks ago, or at least a few months ago, and I feel like this connection can grow into something meaningful and deep, and I feel like she can meet me. She has the potential to meet me there. And I was telling her, like, I'm tired of having these conversations with people, and if I share something with someone, then there's a fear within me that the other person will take whatever I'm sharing, whatever emotions I'm feeling, and will quickly want to change how I'm feeling just so they can relieve their own discomfort in the conversation. And I no longer want to share myself with people who won't allow any emotion I'm feeling, any density that I'm feeling. I no longer want it to be seen as less than any other more light-hearted emotions. I don't want my emotions to be within a hierarchy, within a one is more superior than the other. Like, I don't want to have those kind of I don't want to be received in that way. I don't want my emotions to be seen in that way. All my emotions are valuable. All my emotions are information for me to discover myself more, to dive deeper into what's going on in my inner landscape. So I am open to those kind of conversations with people where I can feel safe enough to know that all my emotions are valuable. So that's the reason I'm bringing that up, I guess, is I'm filming this video, and you know, when I say if I want to, you know, if they say be the change you wish to see in the world, I know it's a very common adage, but if I were to hope that there's more people that can just express themselves at their just right now, however they're feeling, if they're willing to express themselves, I would want to see more people just be like, you know what, I'm still gonna show up in the world exactly where I'm at right here, right now. There's no need to be feeling like I need to be hiding myself away until I feel these other light-hearted emotions. There's no reason for that. We're all meant to be seen at any point of our lives. It's just so embedded in us to think otherwise, whether it's through our workplace or through our schooling. It's so ingrained in us at an early age, and it follows us. It truly follows us. I think I recognized this pattern of wanting to hide myself away, and I still am recognizing this even now. It's like it's even become more clearer. At moments it's more clearer. Like, I'm doing that again. Like, I'm not responding to that person or not proposing any plans because I haven't gotten this done, I haven't got my hair done, I haven't looked this way, I haven't felt these emotions strongly, I haven't felt that much joy, so let me just hide myself away. And I just want to just be like, you know what, I know no part of me needs to be hidden. All of me can be seen. All of me can be seen. There's no such thing as tucking away parts of myself so that I don't become a burden or that any other weird story I'm telling myself. You know, and I think if we don't bring awareness to our patterns, that's where it can easily become a continuous pattern. And even today, I can go out, but it's you know, it's not necessarily I'm hiding away this time. It's just that I I just want to be home. I just want to be my space. And maybe it's a Cancer season, which I kind of want to talk about more astrology here. But anyway, besides that, so it's also right now I'm recognizing, okay, when am I hiding away, or versus when I actually just want to be to myself. Seeing the difference between the two and seeing so that I can make the right decisions from my heart. Seeing what my heart wants. And I think today my heart just wants to be home. I'm not against seeing anybody right now. It's not that I don't want to see anybody, but I actually just prefer to be home. I think it's easily mistaken that if someone stays home, they don't want to see anybody. Which, yes, if you stay in your sanctuary, of course, you're not going to see people, yes. But it's not necessarily, I think the thing is, not always the case. It's not always the case. Sometimes I think we may just want to stay home and have someone just come over to us instead. It's like I just don't want to be outside. Maybe it's because I don't want to be around a lot of people. Maybe that's the case. But sometimes I feel like I can open myself up to people. I think that's the thing. I have the emotional resources, at least at the moment, to open myself up to people. But then I prefer not to at the moment. So I think sometimes we can do, of course we can do something. If I don't have the emotional capacity or the emotional resources to extend myself, then I feel like, okay, I actually just can't socialize right now, or I just can't, or I really don't have I don't have physical energy to actually go out. So that's more of a like I don't have it in me. But right now, I just like I actually have it in me, but I prefer option B, which is staying home. Like I can do it. Yeah. So sometimes I have days where I'm like, okay, I actually can't go out because of physical energy, mental energy, and then so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna not go out. But now today I'm like, I actually can. I have it in me to go out, but I prefer not to. So I hope that somehow resonates with some of you. And this brings me to another, you know, as I'm making these videos, I'm also hesitant, like I said, to show myself. But that's why I'm showing myself now, because I want us to open the doors more to our freedom, to self-express ourselves, to express ourselves freely. I touched base on self-expression in my previous video, and so I guess this is sort of bleeding into this video as well. It's just we all are constantly in seasons. Like, sometimes our moods are like, that's why we have the moon. The moon changes. If you really think about it, you know, it's changing phases every couple days, and the moon represents our emotions. So if the moon is constantly shifting and changing phases, of course our emotions are going to change. Like, we're constantly changing every couple days, every day. So when we are expecting ourselves to be up here on a consistent basis, it's just actually not humanly possible. And we've been so conditioned to always aim for here that we're not honoring our natural human evolution, our human biology, I guess. Like, we're actually just denouncing the humanness in us. Like, it's here. We can't run away from our changing of our like, there's no running away from it, of our moods changing. There's no running away from it. There's no denying it forever. Oh, I'm not angry. Oh, sadness is it's not as, I'm not gonna try to make my sadness as so big as it is, or oh, let me just try to minimize the jealousy and it's gonna make me so like such a horrible person if I'm jealous. Jealousy is actually showing us what we actually want in our lives. But there's a lot of picking and choosing with how we feel. Like, okay, I'll do that. Like, it's like you're at a buffet and you're like, okay, I want this, I want that. No, I don't want that. But our emotions do not work that way. It's constantly coming to us, constantly feeling so many emotions all at once, and we're meant to hold space for all of them and seek support in others to hold it for us if it's too heavy. So I think it's important to see people, even in the online digital realm, to show like, hey, I'm feeling this day. I'm feeling like, showing other people like, yeah, I'm feeling this, and then I'm feeling this, and then I'm feeling this. And then it's gonna be like a ping pong between, if you're witnessing someone's life on the internet, it's gonna be not gonna be the same. There are always gonna be shifts with their emotions. That's why you see videos like people saying, I'm struggling with this emotion, this event, or anxiety, and then another video a year ago is something different. And it's going to be constant. Every single life on this, human life on this planet, it's going to feel emotions that are ever changing. And then it's going to go back to that emotion. Feeling joy, and then you're going to feel sadness. You're going to feel anger, and then you're going to feel jealousy. You're going to feel loneliness, and then you're going to feel belonging. You're going to feel, my message, I think it's translating pretty clearly here. So I hope that by me translating this message, that I myself am giving myself permission to not have to always question, why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling this way? Yes, there's value in questioning it, and information into knowing the reasoning behind this emotion and where it's coming from, and it allows us to dig deeper within ourselves. But to take a step back and remembering that it's not always necessary to go straight into questioning the emotion, and to remember that regardless of what's going on in our world, and what's the story we're telling ourselves that is making this emotion bigger than it needs to, whatever is going on, regardless, you're feeling that emotion regardless. And if it's a story you're telling yourself, then years later you heal from the reasoning behind the emotion of sadness, you still feel sadness for something else in the future. That emotion will still be there. You may be healed from so much trauma, so many occurrences that's happened in your life, but guess what? Though all those emotions you felt for that situation and that experience, you'll still feel those emotions for whatever other reason in the future. Those emotions will not go away. So the emotions are like, I'm seeing the emotions now as outside of whatever story it is. It's just emotions. It's just a natural occurrence of life that's gonna be. I feel like emotions really are just the most, one of the most ever-changing things that we experience. Like, it really is. Like, we may have this life that's very very predictable, and we may be living the same lifestyle every single day for years and years and years. However, we're still experiencing change, and that changes our emotions. Like, and I think that's what makes the human experience difficult at times, or most of the time. Is like you're constantly feeling something. It's like it just doesn't. There's never gonna be, because then you're not human. You're human, but like if you're just blank, then there's something you're denying. You're still feeling something, even if it's like abandonment or being frozen. Like, it just means that your emotions are being maybe stuck in a corner somewhere. So yeah, so I think that the social media portrays our life as this, it prioritizes emotions that are up here. I think social media portrays only, that's why they always say, you know, social media only portrays a certain lifestyle, certain way of being. And I try to see the perspective of how it can be valuable to portray joyful emotions, lighthearted emotions. However, my problem with social media is it doesn't show everything else. It only prioritizes a certain way of being, a certain way of human expression, but it denounces other forms of human expression. And I want to welcome in different forms of human expression. Let's welcome the dark, let's welcome the heaviness, like, let's welcome it all. And we can still hold each other in it. And it may be not as easy to hold the darkness, but it's necessary. It's necessary. Value in the darkness. And as I come into a reawakening time over and over and over and over again, constantly, I look forward to welcoming more and more of the darkness of life, of the challenges. Okay, maybe not so the challenge. It's heavy though, it really is heavy. Experiencing emotions itself is so heavy. It's always going to be constantly changing and shifting, and it's that in and of itself, whatever lifestyle you have, like, we're all going to be experiencing our emotions constantly changing, and then going back to one emotion, going to another, and then going back to that. It's just, you don't really get a break in this human experience, and that itself is a challenge. I get why people do getaways and want to take a break from their own life, but it doesn't change whether you go to the Bahamas or Bali. It doesn't change your inner landscape and your inner world and what's going on there, and it doesn't change your emotion. It doesn't, like, yes, like, you may have a break from this said stressful job, but overwhelming emotions still exist within us. We don't get a break from those like, yes, circumstances, if we change our circumstances, it can give us a break from overwhelming emotions, but it's never gonna disappear. It won't just completely like evaporate out of existence. Like, we'll never get to a point where we're like, okay, I never feel angry anymore, I never feel stressful anymore. Yeah, I just think it is possible, I think, to manage our emotions in a way that, yeah, maybe we can get to a point where we just can manage it. Or when I say manage, I mean have the tools necessary within us to handle. Our capacity to tolerate heavy emotions will expand. I think that's what I mean by manage is our capacity to tolerate emotions, especially the heavy ones, will expand. And to also, I didn't expect to dive deep into emotions, and I still have this voice in my head. It's here now, and it's telling me like, well, why would people watch someone who's, I don't know, it's like this story is coming up where it's saying, am I going to spark any reflections on anyone, or will I just seem like a Debbie Downer? I think more of us need to talk about life is not supposed to be like up here. And I just see it a lot online where people are still trying to be up here, like I know there's a lot of self-help conversations and how to be your best self, best version. We don't have to reach for the best. We don't have to be up here, guys. There's gonna be times we're up here, we're down here, and that's okay. We're meant to just flow with the river in this life. We're not supposed to be the best. I'm not supposed to have the best channel on the internet, or the best background, the best video effects, the best editing. Just meeting myself here, right now, right here, with the camera I have, which is an iPad. And when we minimize the story of how it should be to be the best, first of all, take out how it should be, and then once you do that, you see that it doesn't have to be the best. My channel doesn't have to be the best, as long as I'm meeting myself where I'm at. And it doesn't have to be seen as the best at all. Like, I just kind of want to take out the word best, because I don't really see the point in that. I think when we say best, I think I'm not aware of this origins of the word best, but I see the value in it, in the sense that it can help us push each other to grow, ourselves to grow, just like healthy competition is valuable because it helps us to grow and get better at sports, at anything. So the word best, I don't think there's really actual like best of something. Like a gymnast could be really good now. Like I was watching someone bios because just their YouTube videos, because I just love I really like seeing people who are just trying their best. I really do. And I say best, like I said, I'm not trying to denounce the word altogether, but I think the society has too much focus on best. there's always like, how do I get better? How do I get better? How do I get better? That is okay to have, like, to have conversations to get better for ourselves. Yes, we can do that. But to strive for the best means that we're never gonna be here in the present moment. We're always gonna be looking elsewhere, thinking that our future self is better than our present self. I know it's not easy though. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm still looking around my room and it's like, okay, you know, I'm gonna get some more furniture. I've been living here for over 2 years and I still don't have furniture. That's a story for another time. Which maybe I actually briefly mention why I don't have the furniture, but I'm alive right now. I'm breathing right now. I still have my limbs. I still have my organs. I can still visually see out of my eyes. I'm still very healthy. So I'm right here. I'm right here. I think the word best is just so much emphasis on best. And we allow our emotions to feel like, well, if I feel joy and happiness and all these lighthearted emotions, all these easier emotions, then that's when I'll be my best. But our best could be when we're right here. And we're right here instead of right here. I think our best is when we can meet ourselves right here, right now. Right now, I'm at my best because I'm allowing myself to be seen, and I'm not trying to aim from here. I'm not trying to turn on the camera only when I'm here. Because then how am I my best if I'm telling myself, okay, I'm not meant to be seen when I'm here, but only when I'm here. I'm not operating on I'm at my best. In actuality, it's the opposite because I'm telling myself I'm not good enough when I'm showing myself when I'm here. So I also want to bring conversation on the topic of stages of growth. I wish I had this blueprint of this is stage 1, this is stage 2, this is stage 3, this is stage, but I think as we keep growing, there's no blueprint. It's a mystery really because we don't know what our next lesson will be, and certain circumstances that we have not yet experienced will then bring those lessons. So if we haven't experienced, if we have yet to still experience life, how would we know that we have learned all the lessons we need to learn? So this is like a stages of growth only from what I've experienced with my stages of growth. And not in order, but I've realized that one stage of growth, and to actually put in context, what I mean by stages of growth is when I've learned some lessons and when I've turned those lessons into growth, into knowledge, and into as if I'm storing these lessons in my library. Let's say that in my library is full of all the knowledge and wisdom I've learned from my lessons, and then I grow from all those lessons, and in those moments of growth I operate differently. And operate differently, and I notice I'm operating differently because I've grown. And I was just reflecting on recently, maybe a week or two ago, I was reflecting on the evidence I can see now from my growth. I was just contemplating, I was like, what evidence do I have to know that I've grown? And so maybe there's no stages, but I just said stages. And one evidence I do have to know that I've grown is that my new choices and decisions come naturally to me without resistance or attachment to the old ways of operating. I've noticed that in the past few years, learning hard lessons, I make different choices now, and when I do make those choices, it's more natural to me. I'm like, okay, let me go do this thing. I talk about responsibility consistently a lot because I've struggled with that a lot in my early 20s. And now it's like, when it comes to that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go do this task that I need to do. There's no like, I'm not so heavily replacing decisions on my emotions as much. And now it's much easier. It's a more of an effortless flow to just do something that would really benefit me if I do it. And it's more of a logic approach to decision making, rather than, I don't feel like it, or I'd rather do this, I'd rather spend money on that, even though it's gonna get me behind on bills. Like, irresponsible thinking led me to some painful lessons. But now I just don't do the things that are actually gonna harm my future, or cause instability, or cause my foundation to be shaky, or just cause harm to the girl in 2 weeks, And I actually cried. I cried on Saturday, I think. Saturday, and I was just, it was a moment where I just felt for her, and I felt her sadness come up because I kept harming her future, and I kept causing her instability and unpredictability and uncertainty, and it caused her to be stressed, and I've been feeling like my own father at the moment. I've been feeling so much more. I've been feeling trusting, and now that girl that was hurt from my decisions, I'm imagining the girl as like the girl that was from the past few years, who was damaging her future. When I say future, I mean like the end of the month kind of future, because then I would then struggle with paying for like my basic necessities like food, shelter. So she was feeling a lot of sadness in that moment, because she was telling me, or it's not necessarily through words, but through my heart, and she was just communicating with me through my heart in that moment. And she was the one crying because she was like, well, actually I was more I was more like, I saw her. She was the one that was crying, not me, not this present me, but the girl that was struggling the last few years. And I saw her. She was like, or I was like, yeah, I've been putting you through some stressful times. I've been putting you through some stressful times and moments where she was crying because she's like, you finally got me. You finally got me. You finally got me to feel secure. I'm not that secure. Like, I don't have bands in my bank account. But I'm still like, my account was like, anyway. But I'm much more like, I'm above the water now. I was drowning, but now I'm more like just above the water. Okay, let me keep swimming. And just from that, it's not like I got to an island yet. Not until I'm like financially secure is when I get to the island. But at least I'm not drowning. And she was feeling this sadness for what she went through the last few years. And I felt like, yeah, I'm sorry that I put you through that. Like, I didn't see what I was doing to you. I didn't see what I was doing to you. And I couldn't find the right word, but so I'll just say absurd. I found it absurd how I was operating the last few years, like mainly in 2021, 2022, part of 2023. 2023 I saw a shift in my behavior. It slowly over time, and it's like now 2024 it's like very prevalent that I'm not operating the same way anymore. Like, it's very prevalent because I'm not willing to risk it all. Before, I was like risking it all, and it led me to actually lose my Airbnb I stayed in 2021. And it's just, I was like living at a shelter, women's shelter. I was in and out moving places because I was not actually paying my bills. It was the way I was operating. And I share this because maybe a little crossing the line of my barrier that I put between you and the viewer. However, maybe I just crossed that line, but makes me think, like, I just want to share because it highlights, or what am I sharing for? It's just, it's prevalence, and it's just absurd how I was so willing to jeopardize her security. And I have some like awareness as to why I was operating. I have a lot of awareness as to why I was operating that way. But it's like, it's the thing is, I was operating like it was just absurd how much importance I put on other things besides my security. Now I see my security as the most important thing. It bleeds into my feeling of safety and stability. So it's absurd because it's like, I really like put all these little instant gratifications above my well-being. Like, by the time, like, I was very sheltered as a kid too, so I think that played a part. Like, it was my first time actually being out by myself. I experienced that a little bit when I was 18, 19, but it really was like, it was like spurts of like going to Chicago and like for like the weekend and a couple days, and but to really live on my own, out on my own, is my first time. So I had good times. I had fun times with myself out and about, but So I can recognize that, of course, I wanted to have fun, regardless of what could happen to me by the end of the month, because it was my first time being out by myself, out in the world at 21. So, right when I was 21, almost, yeah. So, um, yeah, but then with the lessons I've learned, I saw that I shifted my mindset. So now the decisions I make, it's more natural to me. There's no resistance. There's no like. It's just when I have something to do, I'm like, I want to go do it. Not always, but much easier to do. It's just more effortless. There's no fighting it as much. Another evidence of growth, I had wrote down. This has to do with not needing to separate myself from any character trait that I want to denounce or subside or put in a corner. All of me can be brought to the surface. And then that's another evidence of growth, is allowing all of yourself to be seen and valued. And then to go back, because I want to reiterate my last point to bring more clarification and understanding to the topic of evidence of growth, is when we change and shift our old way of operating and we step into a new way of operating, there's less the decisions that are not home. The new decisions you're making, it's like it just comes naturally to you. And I know I'm repeating myself, but so I'm trying to find a different way of explaining myself. And I think I've had moments where I'm like, have I really just completely like shifted my way of operating? Because, and the thing is, the way I answer that is, if I was to look at my current situation, and the only thing I would switch is like, let's say I just pulled myself out of the equation and like grabbed the girl a few years ago and put her in the situation that I'm in now. That's how I answer the question. I would ask, like, how would she operate at my current reality? And then if I were to compare how she would react and behave in my current reality versus myself now, I think the girl from the last few years, it would be like, oh, let's go out and because I have a little money, when there's no reason to. And now instead I'm just like, the version I am now would be like, let's keep waiting until it's safe enough to extend our resources, our financial resources to get what we want. Like, let's wait a little bit, because there was a lot of impatience with the girl in the past few years, and so that's how she got in trouble a lot, because she was very impatient. And I practiced a little waiting last night. I could have done something by waiting till the next day, and it got me to think. Yesterday I was having a conversation with myself, and this is kind of a conversation I have a feeling I would be talking a while, because I just have so much I want to share. So last night I was like, I wanted to prove myself that I could wait till the next day. And so I was like, I kept telling myself, okay, just go to sleep. Just go to sleep. There's no reason to do it now. And I could have done it last night, but I was like, why though? And if I can't answer the question as to why do it? If there's no actual reason, but the only reason I could really, think of was, oh, because I can. And I think that what gets us in trouble is making a decision, and the only reason, which I don't think is really a reason. Maybe we gotta debate on that, but if the only thing we're saying to ourselves to get that thing, whether it's that going out to, I don't know, that restaurant, buying food, buying that outfit, the clothing, the shoes, the car, it could be anything, or having that experience, or just because I can. Or that credit card, let me get that just because I have it, that credit, just because I can't, just because when I say add to cart and check out, it'll go through, because the transaction will actually go through. But how about if it's just practice waiting a bit? I think the economy will look different if we just practice waiting. And that's been a huge shift for me in my own personal journey with finances, because I got myself into trouble with just wanting things right away the last few years, and seeing that restaurant will be there. I'm not someone who goes to restaurants like that anymore, but I was so excited to be in a new place, so to move and to live on my own. So I was like trying different places to eat. Besides the point, I'm very much I have to. There's a lot of waiting in a lot of aspects of my life right now. So just having this small thing last night that I didn't have to wait for, but because I have this capacity or experience of waiting so much right now from other aspects of my life, I was bringing that experience of waiting. I was bringing that ability within me to wait in that moment. So that helped me last night, is to just to wait the next day. I didn't have to. However, I was able to, that ability in me that lives within us all, to wait for something. I'm already experiencing waiting every day. So it's like I took that ability and I brought that out in that moment. So that led me to wait till the next day. So the last few years I didn't wait for a lot of things, and I never said to myself, oh, I could wait for that. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna get that. I went to the thrift store, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get that. Which a part of my shadow is I am impulsive, but it doesn't come out often. However, it comes out at a thrift store. And I don't want to share, I'm not too fond of sharing too much about my own personality, because it's not about me. This is just about the collective. This is about whoever's watching. Like, let's help each other, let's help each other reflect. I just want to open conversations of reflection. If there's one thing about me, I'm a girl that's reflecting. That's how I talk to myself about. Just things about reflecting about my past decisions, how I can move differently, how I can operate differently. I'm all about growth. So. And growth, I don't try to force it. So I'm not trying to force impulsivity. I'm not trying to force it out of me. I will still go to the store and happily get what I want. I don't get much though. I usually get a couple items, but like, and that's why I appreciate, like, my life is so, I tell me why, but like I feel like life is so much easier when you just don't force yourself to be any other way. Like, oh, I have to be a clean person. Like, I'm someone who will, right now I don't have much furniture, but like I will have, and the reason I'm sharing small bits of my personality right now in this video is because I want to highlight, like, allow yourself to just operate how you are right now. Like, I haven't been that much of, like, all my life, I guess. I've never been someone who's trying to like be. I think okay. I'm jumping all over the place. I think just so much of what I like. This is really a freestyle of a video, so it's a very freestyle video. Like, I had some notes, but like right now, this is me just freestyling, so that's why I'm all over the place. But this is like, I don't, there's some parts of me that I'll just allow it to be. Like, if I have clothes on the floor, because if I'm rushing getting ready for some event or to go out, then that's when I'm like, my clothes will be a little messy on the floor. Like, that's kind of the most disorganized I'll be. Or like, but if I have a place for everything, then my room should be fine. However, if I'm like getting ready for something, that's when it gets my room gets disorganized. And I don't try to force it. I like it. I like to see the reflection of my life in my space. Like, okay, I come home and I'm like, oh yeah, my clothes on the floor, and they were on the floor because I was like, oh, this is what was happening before I went to this event. Like, it just reflects my life, and I like witnessing my life in my space. But then I let it like a couple days, no later than like, no more than, I've been practicing no more than like 4 or 5 days. Like, eventually it gets tiresome to see things on the floor. Like, I do need a clear space to clearly my mind, to clear my mind is what I'm trying to say. Like, a clear space is a clear mind. So I hold myself accountable with my space and what I eat. But besides that, yeah, allow yourself to just be as you are at the moment, but don't let it get overboard. So if I were to just be like, I'm gonna leave my clothes on the floor, or leave my dishes here, my bowl here, sometimes my sheets will be like not made. It's not really made now, but I think there's a balance. It's not. Allow yourself to just be, but don't get it over. Like, don't let it. Don't cross that line where it's like, you're just not taking care of your space or yourself. So I still don't always take care of myself in certain ways, but yeah, there's a level of like more ease to your life when you just don't try to force yourself to be another way, especially like at that moment. Like, yeah, you can have an aspiration to be more organized and clean. I for sure aspire to be more clean, and I will get there, but I'm not gonna get there if I'm just so fixated on, oh my gosh, I have to be this way now. You make the rules of your life. You make the rules of your life and how you want to operate. And so kind of to circle back to what I was bringing up about allowing myself to film, even if I'm like here right now. So I'm like right here, in the middle, just in the middle. I'm giving myself rules in this life, or at least rules not to follow. I'm not following the rule that you have to operate here to be seen, which maybe is not a rule, but seems like a common in the society norm or something. So I guess we talked about emotions. We talked about, I don't know. It's all in the realm of reflection and growth and observation and acceptance of how we are right now. I think this is what it really is, accepting how we are right now and the evidence to prove that. What has been your evidence to growth right now? Because maybe it will help me see some evidence that I'm missing from my own life. I know a lot of people end up walking away from people that no longer serve them, and that's one way. And they welcome in new connections, and that's another evidence for growth is their circle, the people around them, have they changed? And that itself is a reflection of, okay, I've grown, I've evolved, is if who I'm around is different. And what kind of energy I allow. I also had some notes. This is like more brainstorming notes. This is regarding the body. So I think another evidence of growth is, how is your body feeling? I talked about or I had in my notes regarding the body and if it feels renewed. So listen to your body. It gives you clear answers. And another evidence of growth is your connection to your body. Has it heightened? Are you able to connect to your body and sense your intuitive feelings more? Just the connection, I think, with your body, it's been heightened. Thank you for joining me in this conversation. To close out this video, I am wishing for more rawness. I don't say my R's correctly, but rawness in this world, in this video, in this digital realm. That's why I do tend to express myself differently on my channel. There's going to be moments where I will have makeup and dress up more or have a different background. However, this starting period of my channel from the past, honestly 2 years, which is crazy, because it's been very sporadic. However, it seems like the starting point of my channel has been more raw, and even if I depict myself and express myself with makeup and a fancy outfit, however it is, may it still be raw, may it still be authentic to my current reality. I can kind of see now what people show their lives online. I can see the joy in being the viewer of someone's life. I can finally see that. I just wanted to make that, I just wanted to mention that because I couldn't see that before. I wanted to mention that because I was like, I might just show my life a little bit. In due time, not anytime soon. But I kind of want to show my life a little bit. Because in a way to and not to just show us what I'm doing, and I'm like, what? I don't get it. I don't really get it at all. But if I am to show my life, it would be like, I just like to see someone's evolution in their life, their evolution within themselves. So if I can somehow express that in a way to show where I'm currently at right now in a mental space, you know, and yeah, to show my life in a way that I can be like, you know what, this is where I'm at right now. You know, like there's a lot of fear of friendships. So maybe I can express that somehow. So it's just it's a thought I've been having. Is like, I can see myself showing my life, but more of what's going on in my inner landscape, because I want to see more of the rawness in people's lives. But it's not like people do show that. It's just feels like there's always let's run back towards, let's still aim towards the here. You know, like I see people like showing themselves crying online and how they're, it just feels like there's always a running back towards that. Like there's always running back, aiming towards that. Like, guys, I'm feeling better now. Like, no, there's no better. There's no such thing as better emotion. But definitely there's easier emotions like joy and happiness. But we talked about best, but also better, kind of these reaction in me, like better. But I understand there's moments where people have to take a break from social media if they're going through something. Definitely do that. But as long as we don't mistake it, if whatever we're going through has to be hidden away, or like our expression of ourselves has to be hidden away just because we're not here. I think there's still running towards, there's a running towards here. Let's all just be where we are at right here, right now. Let's just all be where we are at. If we're here, great, yeah. Because just not always gonna be here. Just we're all currently where we are at right now. Right now.